It's recording.
All right, great. Hello, everybody. How you doing? Welcome to tonight's meeting. Hope everyone's doing well. Great, great. So I just wanted to, I guess, start with some of the complaints that were made specifically at the last meeting last month. And those issues were relayed to Ms. Cunningham. I believe that we were going to try to see if she could make it here tonight. Does not appear that she's here. No.
Sent an email back today stating they won't be able to attend.
Oh, okay. So after I relayed the information to her, some of the things that she told me in regards to issues regarding vehicles being moved was that some people, because of the difficulty finding places to park, are more interested in receiving a summons rather than moving their vehicles because it's cheaper for them to keep their cars in violation. So that right there is a bit of a difficulty. In terms of the abandoned vehicles that I was spoken to about, she said that she was going to look into it and we were gonna follow up, and I've made attempts to reach out to her and I haven't heard back from her yet. It doesn't mean that those things were not resolved. I'm just waiting to hear what she has to say about them. And that basically is where we're at as far as the past issues that were addressed. As far as any new issues, is there anyone here today that has anything new that they have seen or witnessed that they need to relay today?
Okay, the name is Kenrick Westcott. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I have a report. I live on East 52nd Street and Cloudon Road. On last Saturday, I was walking on Utica on Cloudon Road, and just at the corner, I think next to Popeyes, there were a lot of garbage on Utica Avenue. And also there's, I think, where they wash clothes, a laundromat. And there's a lot of garbage inside, not outside on the street, but inside the yard of this particular, in this particular area. So I'm just reporting that. And
Okay.
on my block at 702 East 52nd Street, there's some young kids that has cars, about 3 cars. And those kids, what they would do when the sweeper is Monday and Tuesday. And when the cars are parked, the time is sweep down, they would take the plates off. So they would not get a ticket. So I'd like to know what could be done about that, because on that particular area, it hasn't been swept. And that's about my report for the committee, for the sanitation committee.
Okay. So I just want to get that street down. You said 702 East 52nd Street. Is that right?
Right.
Okay. So we have an issue with cars without license plates due to street cleaning, so they don't receive summonses and they're not moving. Okay.
As the sweeper comes down, they put the plate back on. I saw it with both eyes.
Okay. Now, as far as the first thing that you mentioned, that was at Utica and Clarendon?
The Utica and Cloudon Road, like I said, I saw it last Saturday. I haven't really been back outside since. I haven't been over that, so I'm not sure if it's been picked up, but it looks like it's a permanent area for garbage. That's what I can say.
All right, so
I
Utica.
have even taken some pictures, which I started to submit, but I wasn't sure whom should I send it to, so I didn't bother to send them any place.
All right, so Utica and Clarendon, a lot of garbage, and you also mentioned a laundromat. Is that the
Yeah,
same location?
yeah, that's on the west side, yes. On the west side of Clarendon Road.
Okay. I will definitely discuss that with. I just want to also say one of the things.
You're mute. I'm telling you. You're mute. I'm not hearing you, sir. Mr. Hills, I'm not hearing you. You're mute.
Mr. Hill, we can't hear you.
Hello, I'm not
An
hearing
issue.
you.
Were you able to hear me?
Okay, we can
No,
hear
no,
you.
we can't. But before, whatever you started with, we couldn't hear you.
Okay. I was saying that she informed me that it was a important move on everyone's part that sees these types of violations or issues, that they start a complaint with 311, and that she would then be able to escalate the issue further. So as soon as you see them, to make that complaint, to get the paperwork, sort of like the process started, so that she can then escalate it from her end after I speak to her about it.
All right.
So that's a very important thing to do.
May I ask, are you the new chair of the sanitation committee?
Oh yes, hi. How you doing?
All
Yeah,
right,
that's
I'm Westcott. Well, I haven't met you before. I haven't seen you because I haven't been receiving any notification about the meetings.
Oh,
So
well,
that's
this is just the second meeting that
well,
I've held.
congratulations. I hope that you will do a pretty good job. And it seems that you're interested in having this committee look like it's supposed to be.
Well,
Welcome.
thank you. I appreciate
Okay.
that.
You're welcome.
Was there anyone else? I'm sorry, I think I saw a hand raised. How do I, oh, there we go. I see that there's a hand raised by Hazel.
Okay, yes, good evening, Hazel
Hi,
Martinez.
how you
I
doing?
have a number of complaints, and one thing that you talked to, the last thing you said about Teresa Cunningham saying that people need to initiate 311 complaints. I am tired of putting in those complaints. I am tired of speaking with the sanitation police, and I still don't see any improvement. As a matter of fact, they don't even want to write a summons because they say that half the plates are not real and they're not going to, it's just like a waste of time. So I don't know what the residents are left to do if that is they're going to be their policy. Or when they come and they see the vehicle, they always tell, somehow the owner, whether the thing has no plates, but the owner always appears. I can give you hundreds probably of these complaint numbers and their response. The owner always appears for sanitation somehow, and the vehicle remains there without plates. And we have several complaints. Now we have on East 57th Street and on Avenue D side of Harry Mays Park, there is supposed to be night cleaning. That is never done.
I'm sorry, I'm losing you. I can't hear you anymore.
Oh, can you hear me? Sorry.
Yes, yes.
On the
East 52nd Street on the Avenue D
East
side.
57th.
Oh, 57th, okay.
Between East 57th, between on the Nazareth, the block with Nazareth, between Clarendon and Avenue D on the side of Harry Mays Park. There is night cleaning that is never done. Never done. On Clarendon Road from Kings Highway to Ralph Avenue, I can tell you there's supposed to be street sweeping that is never done. There are people living in trailer homes on the street. No vehicles are moved. The place has not been swept in years. And there's the Friday in particular, there is no street sweeping going on. And I can't tell you how many times we've complained and even to customer service, all of that. I don't see any results. Because today I was on Washington Avenue and I saw a sanitation person writing tickets, but they don't do it in our community. They don't do anything at all. And I'm and in and on as a matter of fact, and on Clarendon Road between 56th and 58th. We have restaurant garbage that's been there for in the street. The dumpsters are in the street. I don't think they're supposed to be in the street, but they've been there for weeks and they're not being picked up. And then the next block where there is that little mall, there is a restaurant there that does not have a dumpster, and sanitation police, I know they've been there, but they have not made them get a dumpster, and their garbage is all over. And you know, if you put down one garbage bag in our community, it's going to pile up. And this sometimes it's on the sidewalk, even not just in the mall, which is dirty in itself. Okay, so
Hey,
those are my complaints.
quite a bit of information, and that is absolutely terrible.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Mr.
I
Hill,
would- yes.
yes, this is Westcott again. What I seems to believe for years now, the city just will not comply with our complaints because, for instance, the sweeper came down this morning. Okay, there's supposed to be I think a reservoir, something like that on the truck. There's no water. I mean, the dust is just flying all over. I just don't know why. Other neighborhoods, they've been taken care of. I mean, is there any way we can actually put pressure that they can give us the same service that other community gets, or we're too lax to give it? Yeah, is there any way we can? I mean, now you're the new chair. Yeah, probably you can show them you're different than you mean business.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to get into what I think would be an appropriate response in just a moment, but I just wanted to hear everyone out before I spoke on that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Miss Sylvester?
So Mr. Tate was before me, so I could wait. He
Okay.
was before.
I really don't know how to figure out who was first. Sorry about that. Mr. Tate?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Sylvester. Yes, I have a couple of things. One, they're talking about the trucks that are parked forever and sanitation can clean up right around by the corner from the community board on East 42nd Street between Farragut and Glenwood. There are trucks that sit there all the time. And as Ms. Martinez mentioned, it's a night cleanup. The sweepers can't come there during the night because all the trucks are parked there. You see garbage under the trucks. That's over there by Pat Mark, but they are not Pat Mark thing. The trucks are parked there all the time. They don't move them, and the sweepers cannot clean, so the place stays filthy. Okay, that's one, and I'm glad to see that they finally cleaned up Farragut Road between Utica and Kings Highway because it had been a mess. But yesterday I passed by there and I see they cleaned it up. Okay? Yeah, they keep cleaning and they keep messing it up again, dumping. It's a regular dump site. Okay, but I do have a question regarding the dumpsters. Okay, because I have an issue right now that on East 43rd Street, right in front of my house, there's a dumpster that I think belongs 2 houses down from me. I know it belongs over there because they're renovating at the corner of the right on Farragut on East 43rd. And the dumpster, they put the dumpster right in front of my house. Okay, instead of putting it in front of their house. I spoke to the contractor. The contractor told me they were going to move it last week, Wednesday. It's been there for over 3 weeks now. It's piling up and piling up, and then people now are throwing bags next to it. I have to be picking up those bags and trying to throw it in the dumpster. I want to know what's the law regarding dumpsters in the street. If someone is using it, shouldn't the dumpster be in front of the house? And because of that, the way it's situated, half of the block cannot be, the sweepers can't come on this side for what are up. Well, that this dump has been there for 3 weeks, but they've been cleaning up for about 4 weeks, 5 weeks now. They've been renovating and changing dumpsters. But the dumpster in front of my house has been there for 3 weeks now. And I'm tired of picking garbage out. And I don't know why they can't, if there's somewhere that they could give them a summons or force them to move this dumpster that it's overflowing right now. So I don't know what's the regulation on that.
Okay, and could you give me the address for that dumpster or?
Yeah, the dumpster is right in front of my house, 739 East 43rd Street. But the renovation has been done at 741 East 43rd Street. And I spoke to the owner of the building, I spoke to the contractor, and I'm tired of it now. You know, I've been giving and take. They already destroyed the garden that I have in front of my house, but now I'm tired of it now. You know, it's like I'm not a complainer, but I'm not going to be behind the air, especially when he told me he's going to move it last week, Wednesday, and it's still sitting there.
Okay. And as far as the information you gave me about the trucks on East 42nd Street, what were the cross streets?
Glenwood and Farragut. Glenwood, Farragut Road and Glenwood Road.
Okay, thank you for that. I appreciate that information. I will be in touch with them and see what I can find out for you.
Thank you.
No problem. Okay, I think I figured out the hand raising order now. Now, Miss Hazel, there we go. Miss Sylvester, you are back.
Yeah, so it's just quickly, in terms of Ms. Cunningham and the 311 complaints, would it be helpful if we compiled them and gave her the complaint numbers? Or she just wants us to call 311 and let that be it? I mean, I think it would be helpful if we all are complaining to compile those numbers, and maybe at the next meeting we could somehow generate it and give it to her.
Absolutely. That sounds like a great idea. Yes, that would definitely be helpful.
So after about the news, we make a report to the news.
I'm sorry, I could understand that. Ms. Quashi?
Hi,
Hello.
welcome aboard.
Thank you.
I guess I'm on Miss Cunningham's most wanted list because I don't stop at Miss Cunningham. I go all the way to the commissioner, Commissioner Tish, because after I write the 311 ticket, I CC Miss Cunningham, I CC our lovely Miss Farrah Lewis's office, I CC the commissioner, and I get results because I see the little green leprechauns come out with their brooms. One of the problems that we have in our community is that our trucks don't sweep our streets. They come late, they miss sweepings. I live on Troy and Farragut. I have a corner house. So I have 12 cameras around my house. And so I can see them quite well. I see when they miss Troy and I see when they miss Farragut. And I can hear them quite well. And I hear when they come after 10 o'clock because my street cleaning is between 8:30 and 10 o'clock. So when I hear that my TV program is coming on at 10 o'clock, I know they've missed it. And sometimes the cars are moved back already. Okay, so when I hear the gentleman's cars, the Fazios are moving the cars back, the auto mechanic across the street, and I hear the street cleaning coming, he's missed it. Sometimes he comes at 9:59. So if you're coming at 9:59, what are you cleaning? And my name is with their hotline number, which I use quite frequently because I yell at Adam. I yell at all the people she has in her hotline people and say, what are you doing in this community?
Okay.
And I also call our wonderful community board to let them know that you didn't get cleaned today. So I'm on everybody's hit list. And I also had meetings with Ms. Cunningham's Sanitation 17 garage in my alleyway. So the only way you get attention is when you write Commissioner Tish. You'll never hear back from her, but you will see the white shirts, the green shirts coming out to clean up.
Okay.
So that's how you get her attention when you put the commissioner on.
Well, maybe that's one of the things we're going to have to do in greater numbers and not
Yes.
just by yourself.
And with pictures. Pictures speak of volumes. So when you have pictures of what you're talking about, to show evidence, because when you call 311, you can't give them pictures. But when you do it with a ticket online, you can attach pictures. And when
Okay.
you write the commissioner, make sure you put your pictures there, because the 311 ticket won't have the pictures, but you attach it to your email. So it embarrasses them. Because I have the timestamps from my cameras showing the trucks, the truck numbers, and the trash that is left there.
Could you share the address that you're leaving the tickets, the pictures for the tickets for everyone, so that they could maybe utilize it too, instead of just calling 311, because that does not seem to be working.
Which address would you like? The commissioner's email address?
Yeah.
Oh, sure, I'll share it.
Yep. We're all going to be leaving some emails, I think, for the commissioner at this rate. I think would be a good thing to do.
Yeah, because our community doesn't get the proper attention. 17, Garage 17, they're a joke. I'm sorry to say that. And they don't put water in the truck. We get dust blown back on the sidewalk. And I love Miss Cunningham. She's a wonderful person. But unless you have complaints to the commissioner, you're not going to get much done. I'm sorry.
Okay.
She's just following orders, what she's getting from her management.
Yeah, she's just a middle person, unfortunately.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'll share the information in the chat.
Okay. Let's see. We have a.
Mrs. Ruskin would like to say something, Mr. Hills.
I'm sorry?
Mrs. Ruskin would like to say something in regards to the sanitation program.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. My name is Westcott wife. And I think maybe what we should do, we should try to get the news to come out and see exactly what's going on. And once they get it on the news, you'll be surprised. They will do something because it's exposure to what you're not doing.
I agree. One of the things that I'm going to be talking about in a little bit.
Okay. All right.
So we have Alexandria that has a hand up.
Hi.
Hello.
I just wanted to say I have worked with or met with Teresa Cunningham before in the 67th precinct, because the blame sort of about past complaints bounce back and forth from sanitation to, the precinct being responsible for asking people to move their cars and ticketing and whatnot. And one thing that the 67th precinct came back with was that evidently they didn't have enough space in the tow yards to tow all of these abandoned cars and cars that the local garages were leaving on sidewalks or taking license plates off of. things like that. And around the 67th precinct, like within a few block radius, there's a few blocks that haven't seen street cleaning in years. Like it's pretty gross. So just to save you some time, that is one thing they might come back with. And
Okay.
both Teresa, I've invited her to some meetings before with the precinct and vice versa. One of them always seems to not show up. I think it could be a good idea maybe to get them both to agree to come to several meetings so that this is what would happen in the past is the precinct officers would come on community affairs and they would say, text me photos, call me, let me know what car you need moved or what you see and we'll address it, but then they don't really answer their phones. Or before you know it, there's a new community affairs officer and we don't have his number. So maybe for some long-term accountability, instead of these meetings that have been going on for a couple of years where we invite one or the other and they say that they'll assist us with follow-up and then they don't show up to the next meeting. Just an idea, maybe it would be good to schedule a few meetings with both parties in advance since the blame bounces back and forth.
Okay, that's a great idea. Okay, thank you. I will definitely inquire about that. Let's see. No one else has a hand up? Okay. Any other complaints or any other issues?
Westcott again. My suggestion in regards of the traffic agents. Lately, I know in this committee there have been a lot of problems pertaining to parking, but still there are a lot of people just parking driveways and there's no kind of concern for your well-being. And I think if we can invite the traffic agent, the person in charge, I think we could find out why they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Okay, let's see.
Excuse me, and also, they also gave us a correct number to call because when you call one number, they'll tell you call a different number, and it's you know. So I think these are things we ought to look into.
Okay, I will definitely do that. I actually used to work for traffic for 3.5 years before I started doing what I currently do. And there's definitely a number directly to the commands that, you know, we can have access to, and we can definitely call to get somebody over to give those tickets. So I'll definitely be giving them a call about that.
So can we have that number also, so we can call if there's a problem?
Well,
Is it
yeah.
a public number? It's private.
No, it is a public number. That was over 15 years ago that I did that, but I do know that that number is available, and I'll definitely do what I can to get it.
Okay, thank you.
I would think that at the very least it should be available online. It should be, but like I said, I'll definitely look into that myself. The command is actually just a few blocks away from where I live, so I can just walk over there and speak to somebody there.
Yeah, I know they're on Ralph Avenue, if I'm not Ralph and Church Avenue, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the easiest things to do.
When you get it, can you email the committee with it?
Yeah, sure.
The number to the committee. Thank you.
Yep. Was there anyone else?
Yeah, Miss Martinez have her hands.
Oh, there we go. Yes. Hi, Miss Martinez.
Yes, I agree with Mr. Westcott because I call that traffic office every Friday and no one ever comes.
Oh,
They're not responsive to this community. I understand they send their workers elsewhere, except when it's a certain holidays, then they can bombard our community. But they don't come and do any enforcement. My neighborhood by Nazareth is where they come to take a nap. They're always on a break or sleeping. I've taken pictures of them sleeping in their cars and taking a nap. But other than that, there's no enforcement by them.
okay. I will definitely be speaking to them about that. Certainly. Ms. James, I think you had a hand up.
Yeah, thank you very much. I mean, this is a chronic problem. I mean, it's pervasive. It's on, I mean, like I went out this afternoon, and I have a neighbor online as well here tonight. And I was like, what is going on? So we're not, this is not a one-time occurrence, it's going on. And even the number I have, I'm not sure it's a command, but it used to be their number for, they're not responding. So I inadvertently called CB18 sanitation, boom, they picked up right away. I called the two numbers I have for CB17 sanitation number of times, and it just rings out. So they're not even responding to telephone calls right now.
Wow.
On the number I have, but I mean, you can see if you have another number as well. But there is a number that I can share with everybody here, which should work, except for the fact that they may choose not to answer. But sanitation's number is 718-257-3876 or 3874.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate that. Ms. Smith? Or, yes.
Yes, hi. Can you hear
Hello.
me?
Yes.
Okay. I was a little late to the meeting coming from work, so I'm not sure if you addressed this, and I'm not sure if this falls within our zone, but between it's on Beverly, between Nostrand and 31st, they put like the city bikes up there on the corner. I don't My sense of direction is terrible, so I don't know what corner that would be, like northwest, south, whatever that is. But in between the bikes and the curb, it is disgusting. And I don't know like who's responsible. I'm not sure if City Bike is responsible for that, sanitation is responsible for that, but it is filthy. And because it's a tight area, it makes you see it even more. It is disgusting. In
Okay.
addition to all the problems on Nostrand Avenue too. But yeah, it's disgusting.
Yeah, this was not addressed. And I do appreciate you bringing it to the attention. I'm definitely going to look into it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Sylvester.
Hi, thank you. So so every time I've attended a meeting, I hear about the complaints. Is there any, or like the emails that are sent or the calls that are made, is there any way to arrange a just a very specific meeting, just not to like berate anyone, but for the board? I don't know if it's been done in the past. Sometimes you get an email, you read it, you may not do anything. Is there any way to, I guess with Ms. Cunningham, to actually have a face-to-face meeting versus someone just receiving an email about the complaint?
Well, I would think yes. I'm going to speak to her about that specifically, rather than having those conversations over the phone, for her to show up to perhaps either the next meeting that we have, the third Monday of the next month that we have, and or the next general board meeting that we have.
Yeah, again, not to berate her or not to berate anyone, but to say, like, this is the issue we're having, and this is what we see you're doing. Like, if there's an issue with how you're doing your job, let us know. So maybe we're missing something, or maybe we're not communicating, and maybe they're not understanding completely what the issue is. But I think if you see trash on the street, that's pretty obvious. So I don't know. Maybe there's a disconnect in terms of what they see is the problem and maybe what we see is a problem. I don't know. So I find that when people are face to face, that it's a different dynamic.
We asked for that. We asked for that last year, and they tippy-toed around it. And I specifically asked at the general meeting last year, and they kind of didn't want to do it. So I can send you the questions that I sent to them. Ms. Cunningham was at the meeting. And because I wanted to know specifically from her representatives from Garage 17 why they don't do certain things in our community. And I'm still waiting because I wanted a PowerPoint presentation so they can answer the questions, fairly. So they had an opportunity to come prepared because she can't answer the questions alone.
Right.
Because she needs the people that work at the garage to answer the questions. Because she doesn't work at the garage. She's just the borough representative.
Yeah.
Well, so my thing is, well, maybe we should take a slightly, again, I'm just suggesting, maybe we could just say, what do you, in terms of approaching them, what do you think your responsibility is to this neighborhood? And see what their response is. Maybe they feel as though there's someone else that's responsible. I know that
They feel that we're responsible for cleaning up our own community, basically.
Well, the one thing I will say is most of the problems we have in terms of sanitation, it's done by another human being. It's not as though the Department of Sanitation is dumping trash into the neighborhood. They may not be cleaning it, but at the end of the day, when I see people, during the Labor Day parade, the school near me had all these plastic bags. At the end of the day, who's causing the trash is usually another human being. And Department of Sanitation is responsible for cleaning everything. Exactly. If they need a different schedule to clean, I don't know. I mean, I have a great respect for the Department of Sanitation because I do think that they work hard. But I think that at the end of the day, someone else is dumping the trash, and you need Department of Sanitation to clean it or kind of figure out how to keep the neighborhood clean. And so I'm just trying to figure out a way, maybe we could sit down at the table and for them to say, look, this is our responsibility. Maybe and again, I just think there's maybe a communication issue. But again, I don't know.
I don't disagree, but when we have trash, they think it's somebody else's responsibility, not ours. Because usually, me being a property owner, especially a corner house, I have people who walk down the block and just drop. And I continuously pick up all throughout the day. I can't keep up with it. I can't even pay someone to do it for me.
Neither can the Department of Sanitation. But I don't think that if someone is dropping trash every hour, even the Department of Sanitation wouldn't be able to keep up with that. All I'm saying is maybe they have a different schedule and maybe they need to rework their schedule so that it is reflected in the neighborhood. And that's all.
I don't disagree with you on that. But what I'm saying is when they're supposed to do their job, at least do their job. They're not even doing their job.
Right, so maybe they need a different schedule. That's what I'm saying. Maybe they do. I don't, again.
No, they need an elongated schedule. 8:30 to 10, the hour and a half. It's not, for some communities, when you have roads and avenues, it's not enough time for those trucks to go through.
Right.
Because those are longer blocks.
Right.
And so that's one of the things I told them to reconsider based on the drivers. And I don't think that they're thinking out of the box.
Right.
So you're right. Get them to start thinking, but they're city workers and they do things by the book.
So
that's how they've been doing.
I just want to jump in real quick.
I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. It's no problem. I know that we have several hands up, and I know that a lot of people have a lot of things that they want to share. I just want to know, does anyone have any more complaints? Because there's something that I want to address, and it might stir up some more conversation amongst us, and I don't want us to run too long into the night. So is there any other complaints that anyone has?
Yes, I have. This is Hazel Martinez. I have one more complaint. I've been on this committee for, I can't even tell you how many years. And we've had many in-person meetings with sanitation and elected officials about the Flatbush Gardens trash. that is on every corner. You will see like hundreds of bags. And now that the city has new rules for putting out garbage, when is that going to be applied to them? Because you can see from Saturday afternoon a big mound of garbage bags on New York Avenue, on Foster. I mean, and that's not going to alleviate the rat problem. When they were supposed to get compactors years ago, we've never ever heard any more about it.
Okay. Thank you for that. We'll definitely be following up on that. What was there any other complaints?
Well, I just want to say one thing. We don't deal with graffiti. We kind of, not with departments, with sanitation. I just wanted to, that's my only complaint would be graffiti, but I don't think we really address that.
Okay, I'll ask about that too.
Sanitation and the precinct deal with graffiti.
Okay.
Yeah, it's, well, the Mike's Diner at the corner of on Utica and Winthrop. It's been closed for I don't know how many years now, and the graffiti is
terrible.
just piling up. It is piling up.
That's our commission. We went up, we gone up to Church Avenue. I think that's also.
Is that's not Board 17 though?
No, it's not.
Right on Utica and Winthrop.
We up to church.
Clarkson is the end.
Linden. Or somewhere, yeah.
One side of Clarkson is the end.
Oh, okay, thank you.
All right. Just want to say to everyone, I appreciate you guys coming out and expressing all these things. These things are obviously very important. And I'm definitely going to look into each and every one of these issues, and we're going to get something done. Now, how are we going to be able to get something done? As I basically alluded to during the last meeting, for those of you that are here or were here, you know, I definitely believe that a more direct approach is something that's going to be required to address these issues indefinitely. And, you know, everyone understands and realizes that, you know, our community is not something that is prioritized. And I think the reason for that is because we don't force them to do it. And by forcing them, I mean do something that requires them no opportunity to look away, to bring attention to what we need. And, you know, I think the best way that we're going to be able to get these things done, I'm definitely going to give them an opportunity to do it. But I think at the end of the day, you know, a lot of you have made these complaints before, and, you know, you have a history to see what it is that they are interested in doing versus what they're not. And it may really take everyone here, for example, everyone that you know that's affected by these issues, to come out and be heard in front of their doorstep. You know, and it's a shame to say that that's what it's going to take, but it may be the case that the other communities that don't have these issues had to do that themselves.
Amen.
And, you know, I think that it doesn't take a lot to get out and make a statement. You know, it's something that could be done in a relatively short period of time, but just assembling and going to their offices, even just one time, I think will be enough to send the message. And if that doesn't do it, then we do it again. But, you know, getting the media involved is also another important aspect to this, on a day where, if we should decide that we're going to do that, to have them involved. You know, having the pictures, all the documentation for all the complaints that we have with us on such a day would be very important. And, you know, the only way that I think we're going to get any of these things really addressed is if we essentially really get out there and make sure that they see that we're not just going to sit by and just keep going through these same channels over and over, over and over, over and over again. And I think sometimes, you know, things like 311 and reaching out to someone like, you know, Miss Cunningham is just something that is there for us to do so we can feel like we did something. And, you know, it's not really there to address the issues. So that's what I think might be a step that we're going to have to take in the near future. But I am going to speak to Ms. Cunningham. And if you all are in agreement that that is something that you'd be interested in considering doing, that can be something that I also relate to her, that, you know, people in the community have gotten to a point where they feel like this might be a necessary step, and maybe that in itself will be enough to motivate them to address these issues. What were you guys think about that?
You can count me in, Mr. Hills. I'm all the way with you. Even though I have to get a cane and a walker, I'm with you.
Well, I definitely appreciate that.
Yeah, it's about time we made some type of statement. Okay, because like the other committees, they stand up and they protest and they get what they get what they want done. And we have to start doing something to show these people are serious. Instead, let's talk all the time. We've been talking for a long time. Many chairs that came before you, it's the same thing, going over and over and over. It doesn't make any sense. Okay? So that's what I feel. You're right. Correct.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Come on, complainers.
Definitely.
Say something, complainers.
Miss Smith, I see you have a hand up.
Yes, I'm totally with what you were talking about. And I also understand because I've spoken to sanitation regarding the like the trash cans. And I know like you have to go through a process to do that. But I kind of feel like, okay, maybe I don't know if it's gonna be like an eyesore, but in addition to having the trash cans, I forgot exactly how they call it, like you know, the little mesh trash bins or whatever. In addition to having them on commercial streets, why can't we also put them on like residential streets as well too? Because let's say like I just came home from work and I'm coming out the train station. If I have garbage and let's say my walk is really far, and I want to like throw something out at that time. Not to say that's the reason why people litter, but I think that the cans should be placed on residential streets. And in addition to what one of the women was saying earlier, that sanitation needs to have a longer schedule so that they should be able to pick up all the trash like all of the time too. So I think in addition to like going to the office, I think that we should give them more suggestions because there's no reason why our city needs to be an eyesore when other cities that may not be just as big, but there's bigger cities with their big cities as well. They're nowhere near as dirty as the city is.
Yeah, I agree.
I would like to agree with the last speaker, but what I find out about putting these bins at the corners, people seem to put the furnitures, and they seem to bring the home garbage and dump it in the bins. That's the reason why I many times apply for a basket on 38th and Avenue D. It said to me that they do not provide basket for residential area, only the business areas. And I guess Mr. Lyons can back me up on that.
Well, I can definitely ask about that with Miss Cunningham and see what she has to say about it.
Oh, one thing I forgot, very important. I guess this is my last report. The catch basin on 38th Street and 37th Street Avenue, it's terrible. I mean, it is bad. And this is something I want to say, and I almost forgot about it. So I appreciate if someone could look into it.
Could you give me that the address again?
It's on the basement on 38th Street and Avenue D. It smells very badly. The basement on 37th and Avenue D is the same, just close to the church, St. Paul's Church.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. James?
Yeah, I'm actually glad the issue about the bins was raised because that was why I came to the meeting specifically tonight. But I think for the residential streets, it should be by request only. I'm certainly can't think of anywhere in my, I mean, once sanitation sweeps the street as it's supposed to do, if there's litter later in the day, I will go out and pick it up. But what irritates me when they don't do their job properly, and now I just see them zipping through, barely putting the brush down. So I mean, if we're gonna suggest having bins on residential streets, it should be by request by people on the block to do so, rather than just carte blanche, just putting it all over the place. I certainly don't want a garbage bin in front of my house.
Okay. Well, I think that the issue with the garbage can would probably rest at the corners of the street, not directly in front of anyone's home.
I have a corner property.
Oh, well, then that would be in front of your home. Yeah, I can see the issue with that. That request though, request, if someone does request it, I guess, that wouldn't be an issue for them. So I guess that makes the most sense, as you stated.
It would be the neighbor, they would have to get a consensus from the neighbors. First of all, we need it on all the commercial streets. We need it there, especially with the bodegas and everything that we need them there. That will cut down considerably on the garbage. And if any particular block wants to have it, they should be able to submit a request to the district, to the business office or district manager, and then get it if they so desire it.
Okay, that makes sense.
Hi, this is Leonie Logan. I'm on East 40th and close to Glenwood Road, and we have a block association. And I just want to caution against those bins for residential areas. A few years ago, we requested them from sanitation in the city. We got them. We had one placed at the corner of East 40 and Glenwood, and the other one at East 40 and Farragut. And everybody under the sun brought everything from their homes, flooded those baskets, and they were overpouring onto the streets. They took every single garbage from their home. They didn't leave it by their house for pickup. And every single thing that they could think of, they packed them into those bins. We finally had to have sanitation remove them. So I would caution having those in residential areas.
Okay, well, thank you for that information. Ms. Martinez?
Okay. I for one do not want a garbage can in front of my home because have you ever looked at any corners? If you pass down Church Avenue in New York, you're going to see garbage all around the can, in the can, and people do not. Even if there's a can there, they're going to drop their thing on the street. I think there needs to be a lot of education because people don't seem to have any civic pride whatsoever. And they see you sweeping outside, look at you in the face, and drop their thing on the street. And now that the DEP is putting in all these rain gardens and bioswales, that only is going to amount to a big garbage pail in front of our homes. And it's not going to serve any other purpose but that. Because what we really need in this community is to have the sewers updated, not Band-Aids put on. And that's part of this committee as well. And those bioswales, because people can't see a tree bed that they don't think needs a bottle or can that they don't want.
On the street, right across the street, the people moved off there. That tree.
I live across the street from a business. A restaurant, and all that restaurant, all their customers leave over there to come on my side of the street to leave their trash in the tree beds and everywhere else.
Educate them and inform them.
Okay, thank you for that. I'm just taking down that.
I just wanted to say something in regards to, since I brought up the bins, and I understand the concern that everybody else have. I also live on the corner of my block. I don't own the property, I rent, but I've been living here for a total of like 12 years. I think, yes, I do understand that people don't follow the instructions because it clearly says no business trash, no household trash, and people do bring their stuff, and that is a part of the problem. But I think another part of the problem is that the people who are supposed to be picking it up, if they also picked it up consistently too, that would alleviate some of the problem. And I do agree with what the woman said about we need education. I think it's partially education, and then it's partially, like she said, there's no civic pride. Because I think a lot of these people are adults and they know better, they just don't care. And maybe if there was, I don't know how you would penalize people, but if there was some kind of consequences, then people would actually care. I was just saying the bins in the residential areas because I think maybe it would help not have the cans and the bottles in the tree beds, the garbage in the catch basins and stuff like that. I can see both sides. I just thought that maybe it can help.
Well, I think
Sanitation picked it up more frequently.
I think one of the first things that makes a difference is to have the sanitation, removing garbage and keeping the place clean on their end. And I think that when people come through the neighborhoods and they see that it's clean, people get less inclined to want to be the one to drop that first piece of garbage, and they'll hold on to it until they get to a garbage can. But if they're going through the neighborhood and they see that the streets are filthy, they're going to be, less inclined to care. So I think that's the first step to maybe addressing that issue.
Nah, that doesn't work because I have a clean sidewalk, and as soon as I clean up my sidewalk, here they come, dropping stuff. I had a guy just dump his whole suitcase on my sidewalk on a Saturday. He just got thrown out, and he just dumped his whole suitcase. I wanted to kill him.
Wow, that's unfortunate for that poor guy and for the street.
And for me.
And for you. That's you. Yeah. I mean, you're gonna have these isolated incidents.
It's not isolated. Every week I get somebody else. Then they had another woman dump all her food that she collected from the food pantry that she couldn't carry, and just left a bunch of food there at my house.
Wow.
That was another Saturday.
Maybe we got to put a sign up over there.
Yeah, I do have a sign. Sanitation put a sign there for me. No dumping. So I get it a corner house is not what it's cut out to be. And I also have a restaurant, and they dump their food from the doggy bags at the tree. I don't know why they take the doggy bag, but they dump it at the tree. Like Miss Hazel has it. The same problem I have. But I did leave you some information for Miss Hubbard in the chat.
Yes, I got that. Thank you.
Okay, wonderful.
Appreciate it.
But no, a clean area, no, does not persuade them not to dump.
Well, yeah, there's only so much we can do, I guess. There's going to be some dirty people out there, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah, and another thing they do, they drive by and they dump on your property.
Wow.
Yes.
Reminds me of the 80s.
Yes. I had somebody stop their car and dump their garbage bag on my property.
Yeah, people don't care.
Yes.
Sorry.
So, yes, most of the people who are the violators don't live in the community. That's the problem.
Yeah. Well, we're going to fix one problem at a time, and hopefully that's something that will alleviate itself. You know, hopefully those people will keep moving and they don't come back. Hopefully one day. Mr. Robbins.
Yes, I called to speak to Miss Cunningham last week, and I was told she's no longer there. She's out in the field. So could you clarify whether she's still community affairs or not?
What she told me was that well, when did you say that you tried to reach out to her?
Last week, either Wednesday or Thursday of last week.
Yes, I know.
Okay, I spoke to her somewhere around that time myself, maybe a little earlier, and she told me that she was going to be spending a bit of time in the field and she wasn't necessarily going to be in the office, but I don't think that changed her position or her responsibilities. It's just where she's going to be occupying her time during the day is going to be out in the field. But I can definitely double check.
Because I was told she's no longer in that office. So I'm like, is she still community affairs or not?
Yeah, when I spoke to her, she didn't tell me anything had changed, but I'll definitely check with her on that.
Mr. Flo?
Okay.
Yes.
Also,
Yeah.
I have another question too. Excuse me.
Chime in on that?
I'm sorry.
I saw her. I ran into her last week, and I agree with you. I think it might have been some miscommunication because she's out in the field a lot, pushing this new, what they call it, the composting, and doing a lot of the shredding events.
Right.
But I think she's still in the office. It's just that she's out in the field a lot, and that's what's happening.
All right, I'll follow up
You
with her
could double
just to confirm.
check, but I'm pretty sure that you are right. Yeah, she did not leave the office. It's just that she's out in the field a lot. I
Okay,
saw her
thank
last week. Welcome.
Okay. Ms.
My
Robbins, you got
second
something more to add?
Yes, please. What does it take for sanitation to enforce issuing tickets, like to commercial, people who have commercial businesses? Why are they not issuing tickets to them as far as, garbage and everything strewn all over the sidewalk? Third of all, when cars are parked on the street and the street cleaners come to clean, what does it take how do we get sanitation to issue tickets so the streets can be cleaned? They don't issue tickets, so the people keep parking the cars there, and so the streets don't get cleaned. What do we have to do to get them to do their job?
Well, I think that unfortunately it's going to come down to each of us going to their offices and asking them that question. I think that's what it's going to take. I'm hoping that's not what it's going to take, but I think that's what it's going to take. And I'm going to ask Ms. Cunningham myself if that's what it's going to take. I'm going to ask her. I'm going to see what she has to say about it.
Okay. Thank you.
Ms. Smith?
I should put my hand down. I don't have anything else to say. Let me move it.
Okay. Was there anyone else that had anything else to say?
Yeah, Westcott. Mr.
Yes,
Hill, I know that most community boards are the voice for the community. For some reason or the other, the different agencies do not respect community board. I don't know why. But again, I guess the only way we can get some respect from these different agencies, we definitely have to do like you suggested. We have to show them that unity is power. Okay, and we ought to get together and protest. I really protest and show these people that we're serious about our services in our community. And that's about it. Go, we pay just as much taxes as anybody else, or even more. So we should be able to get the same service as anyone else. And we shouldn't have to complain all the time over and over about the same issue. That does not make no type of sense. And they're trying to wear us out. That's the whole thing about it. Because like this Martin spoke about forced stabbing. That's been a problem. Oh God. Each check came in, it's the same problem. It's not been resolved. It's getting worse. So they're actually trying to wear us out that we forget about it. And that's about that's how it goes.
Well, like I said, and I totally understand what you're saying, and I agree, that they're not really taking these things very seriously because we are not
We're not aggressive enough.
we haven't taken a serious enough step to hold their attention. And that's what I think it might be the biggest issue right now that we're going to have to consider is making that next step, because obviously, we all know the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result.
Right.
So I'm not here to sit here and just listen to you guys complain. I definitely want to see these issues resolved, and I'm going to speak to Ms. Cunningham, and I am going to make it very clear to her exactly where I think we all stand. And I want to give her a chance to address these issues, to speak to whoever she needs to speak to. And I think we'll take it from there. But I do want to give her that chance because I just started in this position, and I don't want to have to do that or to ask people to have to do that. But unfortunately, that seems like that's where it's going to go.
All right. Beautiful. Well said. Thank you.
Ms. Martinez?
Well, I would just like to know, what is your plan and when will it start? Because otherwise we'll be going around this circle forever.
I like that.
Well, I spoke to Ms. Cunningham about some prior complaints. I want to reconnect with her to see what happened with those. I want to speak to her about these sets of complaints, and I also want to put her on notice about what we discussed here today. And I want to talk to her about coming to one of our meetings so that she can hear directly from you guys. And I just need to see if there's going to be a good faith effort on their part to meet our needs. And if that
That's not happening. We've met with her. I've been to many meetings with her, been to all of that. It's not just her. It's because we dealt with the ones before her and the overlap with her and the previous people in her position. And I mean, we're still in the same place. So obviously we haven't made any progress, so we have to try something new.
We can skip all of that. We can skip Ms. Cunningham. And yeah, we can skip that part. And let's she knows this is not new. These are the same complaints we had for the last 6 years since I've been on the board. And my father's now deceased, and he's been on the board 20 years. And he's gone. And he said before he passed, were you still complaining about the same thing?
Yeah.
No. So I'm saying, Mr. Hill, let's cut to the chase. Tell Ms. Cunningham, what is she going to do different?
I totally understand where you guys are coming from, and I don't disagree with anything that you said. It's just that the reason why I'm going in this direction is because I don't want it to be
hostile.
I'm sorry?
Hostile?
Yes, I don't want it to come across like, here's this guy that just sat himself in this seat and is trying to start I don't know what, I don't want it to come off that way. I don't want to come off as some aggressive person. I do want it to come across like I'm someone that is trying to handle things in a diplomatic way, which is what we want, and that we do have other avenues that we're willing to take. I don't know if Ms. Cunningham or anyone above her has ever been put in the position to have to consider this in the past. I don't know. I'm sorry?
Go ahead.
Okay. And if in fact that has not been the case, and this is the first time that they've had to really sit down and consider this as a step for the community to take, then perhaps that in itself will be enough for them to make the change. So, I know it's been a long time, but it won't be long from now. It won't be long at all. But I just want to give her the chance to hear what I have to say and see where it goes, even by the next meeting.
Because other communities don't do all that round the bush stuff. They cut right to the chase, and they do it. They get what they want. We're not getting anything.
Miss Martin, I think we ought to give him a chance. Let's give him a chance so he can introduce himself and let them know that he's about business. He's not about fooling around. And I think we ought to give him a chance. I agree with what you say. Just came on and he wanted to introduce himself, but in a positive way, in a business way, in a serious way. I think we ought to give him a chance and see.
I guess I've been on this committee too long for the same
Yeah,
complaint.
we've been, all of us been, we have been there for a long time, very long time.
Mr. Hill, we'll leave it in your capable hands, and I'll see if I'll be dropping off in December. Because everything that I've gotten done, I've been doing it on my own.
On my own. Yeah.
So.
Well, you shouldn't have to do that on your own anymore. We are going to be a team here. There's no more on our own anymore. We're going to cut that out. There's so much more that we can accomplish together, and we're going to do it together. And
I hope so. That sounds good.
Maybe we have a little Christmas present coming to us by December.
Okay.
All right, beautiful.
Email in the chat, please.
Yes.
Hello? Yes, please. Thank you.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Can you put your email address in the chat?
Oh, yes. Yes. Yes, I can.
And your phone number.
Yes.
You're on the board.
Ms. James?
Yeah, thank you. I just want to very quickly encourage us to be to keep vigilant. And specifically, I want to commend one person on this committee, Ms. Robinson. I was talking to a very dear neighbor, and I was complaining about the trash in the back of his house. He doesn't live on my block; he lives on my cross block. His house is beautiful at the front, but he had trash at the back. And I said, why would you keep all that trash, just junk at the back when you have a rat problem? Because standing on my block, looking down at his alleyway, at nighttime, you could see rats running all along the place. And he said, we don't have any rats anymore, on our block, in our alleyway. We have been putting our trash in bins right now instead of bags, or instead of putting the bags out. And that was because a member of this committee, Miss Lilith Robinson, took the time to make a flyer, go around our neighborhood, encouraging neighbors to put their trash out in the bins versus the bags. And here it is, one block, which was having a major rat problem, was able to eliminate it. He said only one neighbor still puts the bags out by just doing that. So I know it's disheartening a lot of times, but let's keep, just doing our best, reaching out to our neighbors like Miss Robinson did, and we can sometimes see results.
I agree with that. Definitely something that we can do. Yeah, definitely something that we can do. There's definitely little things we can do to improve things, but ultimately, we are going to definitely lean into sanitation to doing what they need to do as well. And, we're going to make it happen. There's no way that they're just going to keep ignoring us. I was given some information when I took on this position, and I believe that there is an email address that I'm supposed to be able to have access to, but I can't find it at the moment. I'm going to give you my personal email address, and we're going to take it from there. And that is my number. Miss Martinez, you gave quite a lot of information with a lot of side streets, and if you wouldn't mind, um, if you could just put that in an email and send it to me, I would appreciate it. I think I took
Will.
everything down well, but
Mhm.
I'd appreciate it if you could do that.
I will.
And if anyone out there has complaint numbers, and if you want, based on everything that you've already told me today, if you care to, if you want to send me the email with all the information, I'd appreciate that as well. I mean, I did take everything down, but if you have more things you'd like to add, or if you would just like to send it to me in your own words on email, that'd be appreciated. And I will do everything that I can to get these things addressed.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, everyone, I appreciate what everyone had to bring to the table today, and I hope that some of us can feel some sort of relief that something is going to happen regarding these issues, and hopefully it is simply sanitation doing their job, and hopefully that's all that it is. But if that's not what it is, then I think that we are going to have to inquire with them face to face. And if they don't decide to come to a meeting, we're going to have to go to them. And I think that'll do it. I think that'll be enough to get things taken care of if we go and inquire in person. And that's how I'm going to put it.
Yes, yes.
I hope to see you guys at the meeting on Wednesday. Be nice to see your faces and speak to you in person if you have the time.
Yep,
What?
and just a point of note, we're gonna have a vote on rezoning. I know it's not a very easy conversation, but unless we take action and do something, it may not be exactly what you're looking for. It may not be a perfect plan, but failure to do something is going to continue to let our community be devastated, destroyed. We need to take some action. We need everybody's help. So please, I'm encouraging you, all board members, to come out on Wednesday and vote in favor of rezoning. Thank you.
Right, that's definitely a very important issue. There are many very important issues. And once again, I'm going to reiterate that I think that if we're really going to have these issues looked at seriously, that we're going to have to come out and make sure that that happens. And that applies to all the committees and all the issues. That's just what I think. Did we do roll call? I don't think we did. Okay, I guess we'll do the roll call.
Leonie Logan, committee member.
Okay. Thank you.
Kenneth Westcott, committee member and member of the board.
Thank you.
Hazel Martinez, committee member.
Thank you.
Lydia Perrin Robinson, committee member.
Vanessa Quashi, committee member.
Monica McCain Brown, committee member.
Thank you.
George State, committee member, board member.
Simone Sylvester, committee member, board member.
Thank you.
Davis Smith, committee member.
Thank you. All right, I take it that's everyone. Mr. Tate, do you have a hand up?
Yes, not for a complaint, a suggestion. Because
Okay.
now that we have those brown bins for the compost, I was wondering if it's possible that you could set up something like, because they have those, the brown bins are outside, but they have what they call the countertop bins. that people could put their stuff in there until they're ready to put it into those brown bins. They have given them out in other communities, and they have given them out at different street fairs. And I have one. I got one, and it's very handy. So if it's something that maybe you could speak to Miss Cunningham as someone at the sanitation, that they could give some to the community board to distribute for anyone who's interested, especially now that the winter is coming. That's what I do. I have them, they're completely covered. So but they're small, you could put a plastic bag in it and put the scrap food and things like that. You keep it in your fridge or until you're ready to put it, take it outside to the big brown bins that they gave us. You follow me?
Yeah, could you describe that again, please?
You know, what they call them countertop bins. That's what that's what they're calling them. So what they do, they give them to the people so that you could store your stuff. Either you could put them in the fridge or what until you're ready to take them out to the, the big compost bins that they gave out. Are you familiar with those?
Yeah.
Yeah, those bins that you keep outside. You could keep collecting like the vegetable trash and all that. And then when you're ready to put them in that bin, you could take them out so you don't have to go out every day and take it out to the bin. But I could send you a picture of it if you want, because
Sure.
I said I don't need one because I was able to get one at the street fair, but it comes very handy, And so when you have like a 2 orange peels or things like that, it makes sense just to walk out, to the backyard or to the
Yeah.
front to put it here. So
Okay. Thank you. And whenever any of you should reach out to me, please just let me know who you are, of course, and obviously what exactly it is that you're trying to, get across to me. Is there anything else from anyone?
Mr. Hills,
Yes.
Westcott again, I would definitely like to again congratulate you and do hope that as our new chair, you actually put me back on board, because I was about to retire from the service of the community board, because there's nothing has been happening that is productive as I've seen. And you seems very encouraging, and I'm there with you.
Thank
and
you.
we continue that we would all get things together, going right. Have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And yes, you definitely should stick around because things are definitely about to get interesting.
You sound okay. Hope so.
Really, really interesting. Really interesting. Was there anyone else? All right. Looks like we've just made it to the end. It's about to be 9 o'clock. I appreciate everyone's time, as I said before, and definitely looking forward to making some significant changes. And we're definitely going to be able to do it together. There's no question about it. So I look forward to seeing everyone at the meeting Wednesday and at our next meeting, and definitely we'll have some answers one way or another. So if there's nothing else, I guess we can adjourn.
okay. George, say make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Hazel
Mr.
Martinez,
Marcy seconds
second.
it.
All right, the motion is passed. Everyone have a great night.
Okay. You
Good
too.
night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good
Good night,
best
Good night.
to everyone.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.